Hello, this is Samuel from Action Figure Fury, and today I'm bringing you a different video. This video is on the Toybiz Lord of the Rings figures. As you can see, I've got a small sample of the Toybiz Lord of the Rings figures. The reason I want to do this video is because I've been recently watching the Lord of the Rings extended editions again, and also with the recent announcement at Toy Fair back in February that Diamond Select now have the rights to produce Lord of the Rings figures, and obviously late last night I was rifling around in my storage looking for Lord of the Rings figures, to reminisce about them. And I have to say, for the most part, the line does really hold up. When this came out from 2000, and I think the line ran from 2001 to 2005. Toybiz produced a lot of figures from the Lord of the Rings. Main characters, background characters, army builders, you name it, they did it. I was only a child at the time, so I couldn't really invest in the line too much and collect everything. Of course, some of the figures now are incredibly rare, but I know there's still quite a lot of love for this line, for how deep they went, how well detailed they are. Well, again, I know this is only a Toybiz line I really collect. I didn't really collect the Marvel Legends because I didn't really collect them until the Hasbro did them. And that was a couple of years ago I really started collecting, big into the Marvel Legends line. But I know that Toybiz Marvel Legends were very successful, very well detailed, and this sort of carried over into this, Lord of the Rings line, which you see here, which is some of the things I've got here. You can see it did pretty well. Of course, some people really liked them. I liked them a lot, but also the ones I didn't really like were the ones with the action features because they sort of ruined. Ruined the feature, the action, the figure, the action posability of the figures. The action features sort of hindered them in so many ways. I've got some here that do have action figure. They're probably just off camera at the moment, but they did sort of they're good. Well, one of them's particularly good, but it's just the action feature hinders it. And they also did superposable ones, like one of my favourite ones back here is the superposable Boromir. There's one of my favourites, even though that shield is a bit of a pain to put on his back or in his hand. It's a bit of a pain in the backside. It's still one of my favourites. I will mention the likenesses. Some of the likenesses were pretty darn good. Like you can see the ones for Elijah Wood here, and Sean Astin. The likeness, and even one for Orlando Bloom as Legolas is very, very good. But some of them were a bit. I wasn't really happy. I've got a few Aragorn figures in my collection, and I'm not very happy with the likeness of any of them. That's why I haven't got an Aragorn figure on display here at all. I wasn't really impressed. The likeness doesn't hold up. I know the superposable Helm's Deep Aragorn is meant to be a very good likeness, but I would like. It's one of those figures that are a bit hard to track down, unfortunately. But I would like to get that one. But of course, I'm looking forward to the Diamond Select series. Series 2 Aragorn Select figure looks absolutely superb. That looks like the definitive Aragorn figure for me, because I really do like these look in Fellowship of the Ring, and I haven't been really impressed with the figures Toybiz did for Fellowship of the Ring for Aragorn. Unless you want to go and pay a higher price park, for I think it's either Star Race or some Asmus Toys, or who have done an Aragorn figure. They did it really good, but they're way, way, way out of my price range. But I'm very, very happy to see, as a collector, I've been pining for years for another Lord of the Rings line. More up to date sculpts, articulation, modern how modern toys are made. I really like to see how they done. These something to hold up. It'd be nice to see them, updated with more articulation, better sculpts, and even better paint. Been hoping to see it for years, and I was very, very ecstatic and over the moon and completely surprised when Diamond Select Toys, announced that they'll be doing a Lord of the Rings Select line, which makes me incredibly happy. I know that Series 1 consists of Gimli and Legolas. Series 2 consists of Aragorn and one of the Ring Wraiths. And Series 3 consists of Frodo and an Orc. I'm definitely all in for those. The first wave is meant to be hitting in September. I'll be definitely getting those on the Build-A-Figure. I'm not sure if it's the first 3 or 6 waves. Your Build-A-Figure is Sauron, and that looks incredible. Really, really good looking thing. I'm really looking forward to that line. Hopefully we get all the members of the Fellowship, and hopefully some of the background characters as well, and some of the villains. Really, really nice. I'm not too sure how well the line will do, because considering the recent McFarlane Toys Game of Thrones series, which are excellent. I've got 3 of them. They're really, really good. That line seems to be dead in the water, because at Toy Fair we didn't see a second series announced, and I think for many properties, and plus how the series ended, probably sort of killed the buzz of interest, which didn't help. But it seems to be that fantasy at main retail at the moment. It does seem a bit of a hard sell, but I do hope, and I will be supporting the Lord of the Rings line, and I hope it does well, because I'd love to see it really grow and get loads of characters. Probably have about 8-9 ways maybe out of it. Will be absolutely excellent. I'm hoping that. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. And then, of course, once I start collecting them, I'm gonna have to try and find room for them, which will be a bit difficult for my collection. But then again, I always move things around or get more storage around here. I could put some more shelves up or something for them. But I'll definitely love to collect the Lord. Definitely in for the Lord of the Rings. Diamond Select line, which should be hitting in September. Anyway, enough of me rabbiting on. These are some of the figures in my collection. This I should mention where I got these from. I'm not too sure I got Shagrat. Shagrat appeared in Return of the King. When Frodo gets captured and Sam goes to Sirathungul to rescue him. I'm not too sure where this one came from, but this is a really well articulated Uruk-hai figure. I have to see if I can bring him in the centre actually, and just bring the camera up just a bit so you can see him. He's quite a tall figure, this one. I'm just highlighting some of the figures from this collection, not everything, but quite tall, well detailed, very poseable. He's got ball jointed shoulders, swivel, sort of biceps. I think they're double jointed elbows or single joint, I'm not too sure. Hinges on the wrists, and they don't swivel, but they got hinge there. Just a sort of waist, but you've got ball jointed hips and swivels there, and fully range articulation. Is a really good looking figure. I know they did really good job on the Uruk-hais. I haven't got many of them. This is where the few I've got. The Berserker's pretty good, but the articulation is hindered by the action feature. But this one, no silly gimmick, no action feature, well detailed, and I really do like this figure quite a lot. One of my favourite ones. I remember picking up back in the Toys R Us many moons ago is this superposable Boromir, which is probably the best Boromir figure you can get. I've got the Boromir which came in the Fellowship pack, and the arms, because it's been sitting in package for so long, the paint's really stiffed on it, so you can't really use articulation whatsoever, and the likeness to Sean Bean isn't the best. But on this one, it's sorry Frodo, this one is much better. I do prefer this one. The likeness to Sean Bean is pretty darn good. He comes with the bow. He comes with his horn. You can see it there, just there. Sword comes with the knife. The shield, which I mentioned before, which is a bit of a pain in the backside to put on his back or on his arm. Really good. I'm really happy with this figure. It's probably my definitive Boromir figure. It's really stands at 6 inches tall, but I'd love to see how Diamond Select tackle this character as well, because one of my favourite characters, and this figure is so good. I'm really looking forward to seeing how and if Diamond Select tackle it, because it's a really good looking figure. It holds up after, how old is this one? Superposable Boromir? There's no, hang on. It doesn't have a year at the bottom, I can't see it. But it's, probably well over about 18 years old, 18, 19 years old, this figure, and it still holds up. I'm a big fan of NECA, and it's probably still pretty good, and it can hold up, to them for the most part. It's really nice looking figure. Really happy with this one. Move Frodo again. I should mention the Frodo. This one on the floor at the moment, I got in the Fellowship of the Ring pack, which came with that Peter Jackson figure, which also was available at mass retail. I do like this Frodo. It's probably the best one, the best Hobbit out of those 4 packs. The Sam isn't that good. The Merry and Pippin, I don't like them at all, because the articulation isn't that good, and they don't come with sheaths for their swords, which is very disappointing. It always did irritate me when I was younger, collecting line, having not been able to have, I mentioned the shield, not being able to have storage for the the figures was always weapon storage for the figures was always disappointing, and they didn't look the best. That Merry and Pippin, but I am after, you can still get them on the secondary market, is the Merry and Pippin in their respective armors, the Gondorian armor and the Rohan armor. I'm after those because the likenesses to the actors are much better, and the articulation's up to scratch, and they've got sheaths for their swords. And that's why I'm after them. They have got I have I've seen images of them online. They do have action features as well, but they're only ones when you. I think one of them has the button at the back of when they squeeze their legs, but I still want them because the likenesses to the actors is very good, and they come with weapon storage, and their armors look very nice. That brings me on to these two here. This was Frodo and Sam in the Orc armor. You really briefly only see them wear Orc armor in the theatrical cut, of the film. In the extended cut, you see them wear the armor quite a bit more. And I do remember I picked up the Frodo many moons ago in Australia, and I picked up Sam and Hamleys in London many moons ago as well. And I do like these figures. They do look great together. The likenesses to Elijah Wood, like that one, is pretty darn good, and the likeness to Sean Astin is very nice as well. So very happy with these. If you you can still get these two quite easily on the secondary market, and they do hold up well. They're well articulated, no silly action features that hinder the sculpt or any articulation anyway. Really do like these a lot. They do look great together. I'm really impressed, and the detailing on them is absolutely. I'll bring in Frodo without the helmet. It's really nice. Toybiz did a superb job on these. They really do hold up after all these many years. Really nice. You know, the detail on them. See all the straps and bands and everything else. Really nice. And they come with helmets. So this is Frodo's helmet. Goes over his head like that, which is nice. And this is the Sam. He also comes with Sting as well, which I really did like. He did carry Sting in the film. Well, second half of the film we had Sting, so very happy with that. And also you can put the helmet on him as well. So they've both got their helmets. And back there you can see I've got the Witch King of Agmar. This is from Return of the King. No man can kill me. I do love this figure. This figure is quite rare to get. I think this came... I'm not too sure if it came in a battle pack or this is a single card version, but I've got a normal standard Witch King with the big sword and the little sword goes in the sheaths respectively. I'm not too sure if this was a single card release or came in a pack, but I really do like this figure. It does hold up pretty well. That sword was pretty stuck in his sheath, and obviously the mace weapon you can see back there was very quite can fall out of his hand. But the detailing on this thing is just simply stunning. Look at this. Look at this. This is definitely up to par with NECA. The detailing on this, see all the tattered, worn. I'll bring this out for a second. The tattered, worn robes and everything, all nice and torn up. You got the metallic look to the gauntlets and the boots you can just see down there. It's just absolutely incredible. This does hold up incredibly well. I'll probably be putting this in my Diamond Select display undoubtedly, because this looks just simply incredible. It's one of those ones that really does hold up. The detailing on those robes, how distraught and everything else are, is simply incredible. Toybiz did a phenomenal job on the Lord of the Rings figures. And before I reveal probably most people's favourite, my personal favourite, you can probably guess one, I'll show off some of the ones that have action features. This one you can definitely see if I bring the camera down just a little bit. Again, this one is the Haldir, which came in the Helm's Deep Battle Pack. This was a exclusive, I believe. Yes, this is exclusive. It was the only place to get. That's what I did like. It's probably the first time in my collecting hobby. This is the first big toy I really collected, where I knew about exclusive figures, and this Haldir figure was exclusive to that pack. And this one does have a city action feature on the back here. If I just turn him around, he's got a little button there which you press to do the arrow launching action. I never really liked that, but you can get him in a good pose with the prepping an arrow, which I do like a lot. And it comes with quite a lot of arrows. It comes with a nice looking elven sword. The detailing on the armor is absolutely incredible. And what I do find strange to have these action features, yet they come packed with articulation so they could do a variety of other things, but the action features sort of gets in the way. But I do really like this Haldir figure. I do have him posed in such a way that you don't see the interfering. So that's a problem. Some of these figures don't stand too well. The button doesn't get in the way, which is quite an irritating feature with some of these figures. Another popular figure, which I mentioned prior, is some of the figures' action features are implemented by squeezing the figure's legs. And I have one here as well. I'm just going to show it in a moment. Once I've got Boromir back standing up again. He does stand up pretty well. Some of his characters can be a bit top heavy. Let's put his shield by his feet, because that's probably the way I'm going to do it for now. And I'll put Frodo back on display. Oh, his sheaths come off the Sting, which is a bit irritating. But no, he's not going to. I think you just have to have him leaning leaning a bit forward. Yeah, that'll do. I'll sort him out afterwards. It's not really important for the review. Another one I've got here with the squeezy legs feature is this EMR. See, one thing I didn't like about these Lord of the Rings figures was some of the screaming heads. They're very sort of scene specific or battle specific, and I didn't really, sort of made the heads look a bit stretched, like some of the WWE figures that came out at the time, and I wasn't too fond of that. But I have to say the detailing on EMR is pretty darn good. I do have a... Oh, shoot. Hold on. That was not meant to happen. That was not meant to happen. Hold on. Just bear me a second. It doesn't take too long to put them back up, thankfully. I did say that the weapon does make him... that mace weapon does make him topple quite a bit, so be warned with the... I should mention, some of these figures do have peg holes on the bottom of their feet. So if you've got any of those NECA bases, or because they do fit 6-inch, these are primarily 6-inch figures, these should fit on there pretty darn nicely, if need be. I haven't had to use them for most of these figures at the most part, but if you do need them, the NECA stands do work. And my personal favourite from this line that I collected is this. I remember getting this many moons ago. Is the Legolas in Rohan armour. This is probably one of the most popular figures in the line, and it's easy to see why. The detailing, I mean, many people have reviewed this figure already on YouTube. You can see why it's a favourite. The detailing great. The likeness to Orlando Bloom is pretty darn good. The articulation is fantastic, especially how old this figure is. Came way back out in 2002, 18 years old. The articulation is great. The detailing is superb on the figure, from the little lining detail patterns on the boots, which I do love. And on the back here, nice detailing to the cape and the quiver, and comes with all these arrows and and the daggers, and comes with the sword. Well, it's an absolutely stunning figure, which still holds up to this day. You can get him in a good variety of poses, shooting poses, or having in poses, we're ready for battle. Really nice figure. Definitely holds up. This one is probably... You can still get it for... What surprised me about the most is you can still get this figure for a very reasonable price. I was just looking on eBay yesterday night, and you can get this figure about £18. I know you paid about £10 for these back in Woolworths back in the day, which was fantastic. But, for still £18, this is a phenomenal looking figure. Highly recommend this Legolas in Rohan armor. It's a phenomenal figure and still holds up to this day. That's probably why I still am very fond of this Lord of the Rings line, because some of the figures over time still hold up pretty darn well, and that Legolas is proof of that, and it is my favourite Legolas in my collection. I've got two. I've got that one and the Fellowship one. Unfortunately, the Fellowship one's missing the missing his other dagger, which is very disappointing, so I don't have that one on display at all. This is my definitive Legolas, and I'm really impressed with the Diamond Select one. And yes, that Diamond Select one will come with a cape, because I did show it at the convention that they comes with a cape. So the death figure will... Oh, and I'm dropping everything. I am dropping everything today. I think I'll just pause the video for a second. Back now. Sorry about that. Some of these figures do have a tenacity to topple if you're not careful. But anyway, this will wrap it up for my little Lord of the Rings retrospective and my thoughts on the line in general, and my excitement and anticipation for the Diamond Select line, which will be launching later this year. I mostly did this video because I really do love, been watching the films lately, and it's got me back into looking at the toys again. And I thought, I had my opinion to this discussion as well. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. There's plenty more older stuff to come, and some new stuff as well. Bye for now.